Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and the ranking member, I thank as well. Not having been here for the entirety of the hearing because of other duties, I may ask a question that has already been answered, so please tolerate me to the extent that you may. Integrated disclosure, is there anyone among you who is opposed to the integrated disclosure? If so, would you kindly extend a hand into the air or simply say so? Anyone? Now, the time period that we are discussing is about 5 months. Is that enough time to make the transition?
No, it's clearly not. I mean, I think you can argue that lenders really had 21 months, but they didn't because every system was dependent on every other system, so the systems that are being delivered to Ms. Lohman were in turn dependent on MISMO, which is the mortgage information and data system. That was in turn dependent on Fannie and Freddie with their uniform disclosures, which required updating there are 899 data elements in that, some of which had to be updated. So there was sort of a sequencing. We're getting to the end, and the timeline is very, very tight. So while systems may be mostly in place, they won't be fully integrated. There's going to be a huge manual element, and the people at the end of the line who are going to suffer are going to be consumers with delayed closings.
I think, Ms. Lohman, you were about to give a comment as well.
I would echo her comments completely.
Well, permit me to ask, what would be reasonable in your opinion?
From my perspective, working with my software company is the most strategic part of implementation right now. I'm still waiting to get to that stage. Once we have the software in place and we start testing, I have to pull people out of the field, which means that consumers can't get to their mortgage person for an application, and spend the time training them. And I was looking towards about a 60-day training period, and I won't be able to start that until the end of June at this point.
Moving to another topic, Ms. Lohman, Mr. Ellison was asking questions about affiliates, and you were about to make a comment about 100% zero tolerance. I didn't quite get the gist of what you were going to say. Would you kindly explain?
If a bank is working with an affiliated title company that they may own, TRID says that we have no tolerance for error. So the dollar amount that we put on the early disclosure to the customer, primarily because it is an affiliate of the bank, we cannot have any number other than what we close with. There is no ability to change that.
And the final question that I'll ask has simply to do with the utilization of the time. If we have a hold harmless period, would you care to explain to me how this time would be effectively used?
Thank you, sir. That time would be used to use these new forms, use the new process in real-life transactions to make sure that we all have it right and that we are able to timely close consumers' loans and make sure that there aren't unintended consequences as a result of this new process.
Anyone else?
I kind of like to compare it to the NFL. They play preseason games that don't count against them. And then all of a sudden when the day gets there, then they play for real. And that's what I'd kind of like to see happen as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your analogy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will yield back.